If you're going on a cruise, it's hard to imagine anything worse than not being allowed to board your cruise ship on embarkation day. However, there are several unexpected reasons that your cruise ship might leave you standing at the pier. Hi there, I'm Ilana from the website lifewellcruise.com. Welcome back to my channel. Now, while it is rare, there are some reasons that people can be denied boarding on embarkation day, and some of the reasons are honestly going to be surprising and pretty unexpected. After all, cruising and cruise vacations, well, it is a little bit different than boarding a plane or going to a hotel. Now, some of these might seem like common sense, and you might even know some of these if you've really read all of the rules. However, I guarantee you there are going to be a couple of these that you never would have thought of. As a matter of fact, recently I shared in the Lifewell Cruise Facebook community this very topic, and there were a couple of points that were brought up that happened to people that I had never heard of, and I did want to make sure that I included them and shared them with you today. Now, before I get started, I did want to mention that if you like this video, if you find it helpful, informative, or enjoyable in any way, then please do give this video a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it, and please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Let's get started. Number one, bringing prohibited items on embarkation day. Now, it is actually pretty rare to be denied boarding if you bring some prohibited items. For instance, if you bring an iron on board and you're not really supposed to do this, it will get confiscated and you'll be able to get it back at the end of the cruise, but you're usually not going to be denied boarding for that. However, other things can actually get you denied boarding. Now, some of these have happened to people before, so it is bringing weapons on board. And the other one that does surprise people is not following the rule that you're not allowed to bring CBD products onto a cruise ship. So yes, there was a lady who brought CBD gummies onto a Carnival cruise ship, and she was not allowed to board. Number two, not having the correct travel documents. Now, some of this definitely is pretty obvious. If you're going to need a visa for your specific cruise, or if you need to travel with a passport, I think it's understood that you need to follow that policy and you need to arrive with the correct documents. However, the thing that a lot of people don't realize is to really pay attention to the expiry date of your travel documents. Now, when it comes to a passport, in many cases, the countries that you may be visiting on your cruise are going to require at least 6 months remaining before the expiry date from the last date of travel. And that's something that a lot of people just aren't aware of. So you really do want to watch this. And when you do take a look at the expiry date of your passport, make sure that you renew that far in advance. Number three, illness. While in the past, when we were dealing with the pandemic, you could definitely be denied boarding if you had tested positive, for instance, for COVID. But even today, if you are showing signs of being visibly ill, you could be denied boarding on embarkation day. Number four, your cruise ship has been overbooked. Now, this is very, very rare, but we did see a couple of cases over the last year or so where people arrived at the cruise terminal only to find out that when they had booked a guarantee cabin or an unassigned cabin, that there still wasn't a cabin available for them. Now, they were given a couple of different options, but none of them included the ability to sail. Now, again, I do think that this is very rare. I've booked guarantee cabins in the past. It has not been an issue at all. I think most of the time what cruise lines will do if they have overbooked that cruise is they are going to offer move over notices in advance to people before that cruise. Please let me know your own experience with booking guarantee cabins, if you would or would not book them. And number five, security concerns. So obviously if people are very unruly in the cruise terminal, but as well if there are arrests or other things that people do have in their background, that is definitely something that can have them denied boarding on the day of their cruise. Pregnancy. Now, of course, cruise lines are not discriminating against people that are pregnant. However, they do have policies when it comes to how far along a person can be in their pregnancy to be able to board. Now, in most cases, if I'm not mistaken, it is about the 23rd week that people are still able to cruise while being pregnant. And at the same time, they are going to need a letter from their doctor saying that they are fit to travel. Now, it is important if you are pregnant or if you are thinking of getting pregnant to make sure that you do check with your cruise line to check their policy. Number seven, not having the proper parental consent. Now, if you are bringing children that are underage on a cruise, if you are one parent or if you are the grandparents, for instance, or if you are bringing a friend's child on a cruise, you do have to make sure that you are bringing the proper documentation to show that you do have permission to travel with these children. Not following the cruise line's policies if you are in a wheelchair or a scooter user. Now, in particular, cruise lines are going to have policies when it comes to the size of the scooter or the wheelchair, or in some cases where they are going to ask people to have an accessible cabin, especially if a wheelchair or a scooter is not foldable. Now, it did happen that on a P&O cruise, unfortunately, a 69-year-old wheelchair user was denied boarding on embarkation day. Now, what the cruise line has said is that they do have a special needs form on their website. They did need to be notified of this. And as well, when it comes to Carnival Cruise Line, they say that when it comes to scooters, they cannot accept people coming on board with scooters that are larger than a certain size. Now, they do have all of the information on their website, and they do say as well that they offer scooter rentals. But the reason for that is you cannot have scooters that are lining the hallway, and they do need to be able to be stored in the cabin. Packing your passport or your government ID in your checked luggage. Now, it seems like every once in a while we hear of people that arrive at the cruise terminal and they send their luggage with porters only to find out that unfortunately they left their passports and or their government ID that they needed to board. They left it in their checked luggage and they didn't have it on them. Unfortunately, this in itself can get you denied boarding. It is nearly impossible to be able to get luggage back once it is sent to the cruise ship. Now, I have one more, and then I'm going to share the situation that unfortunately has happened to people, especially if it was their first cruise or their honeymoon. So, unruly behavior on a past cruise. If you have had some sort of behavior that has gotten you banned on another cruise line, it is very possible that on the cruise that you are embarking on, that they can deny you boarding on this one as well. The name on the cruise booking not matching the ID. Now, this can seem very obvious, but many people shared how after they got married, they had their maiden name still on their government ID. However, on their cruise booking, they had put their married name. Now, that in itself can get you denied boarding. And something that you should make sure that you do is let the cruise line know in advance and ask what sort of documentation you should bring. Now, what many people said is they simply brought their marriage certificate or they had somebody send that over. But this is something very important to make sure that the name on your passport or your government ID is an exact match to your cruise booking name. Arriving late to the cruise terminal. Now, just because it says that the cruise ship is leaving, for instance, at 4:00 p.m., doesn't mean that that is the window of time that you have to actually get to the cruise ship. So there is a boarding time, and that is something that you have to respect. Just like when you board a plane, even though the plane might take off at 4 p.m., you might have to board at 3:20, for example. So the same thing happens on a cruise ship, and you do need to leave enough of a window of time. Sadly, we've seen cases in cruise news where people have actually arrived at the cruise terminal, could see their cruise ship there, and not be able to board. I cannot imagine anything worse, but you really do need to allow enough time to board the ship. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Please let me know of any other cases that you've heard of why people could be denied boarding, or even any situations that have happened to you. Please let me know down in the comments below. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give it a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Bye for now, and happy cruising.